Ida and I have fully immersed ourselves in this DIY world ever since we bought our land here in Portugal. We've got a ton of crazy projects going on. As you saw in the last video, we finally demolished the old house after waiting a whole year for the license and documents. Because soon we're going to start building the new house of our dreams. But we can't forget about the first project we started, our tiny house. Over the past 3 months, we managed to get to this point, and we're proud to say that we've done everything ourselves. And now there's just a bit left to finish the exterior. In this video, we're focusing on installing the PVC windows, and we're also showing you the new stone wall we're building on the land. This week's video is gonna be a good one, so stick around because we're just getting started.
We did a lot of research on how to properly install windows, but because many of our references are from the US, they use materials that aren't always available here in Portugal, so we had to figure out an alternative. To really understand the steps and feel confident in what we were doing, we decided to start by installing the bathroom window, since it's the smallest. That gave us a better idea of the process and we felt way more prepared to tackle the others. But don't worry, we'll explain everything in detail in this video.
The entrance for our land is not pretty. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Look at that. It's very messy. Seriously. And there is a risk that the land goes down because there's nothing holding it. So we decided, and also you guys told us in the comments, that we need to build a retaining wall. So we're gonna use all these thick stones that will go all the way from here to the from the entrance beyond the container. That will be like what, 30 meters? That will be a lot of stones, and this will be looking really nice. And we're not doing this ourselves. Thiago is doing that for us. The same guy that demolished the house and moved the tiny house over here. He's an excellent worker. Let's investigate how he's gonna do that. Como é que você faz isso aí? Vamos lá. Eu vi que você levantou.
As pedras do fundo têm que ser sempre umas pedras mais fortes, que é para aguentar com as de cima porque vai levar muito peso.
Sim. E aí você coloca essas pedras pequenas aqui.
Isso é para rechear o muro.
Rachar.
Exatamente, para rechear o muro, para tapar esses buracos e para calçar as pedras, para ficar uma coisa bonita.
Sim. E aí é só repetir?
Sempre. Aí atrás também temos que meter, convém sempre meter pedra atrás para fazer desdobro, porque não é só a cara que fica bonito, também tem que ter desdobro por trás para...
Aí esse muro ele vai para 2,5 metros, 2,5 metros, 3, e você depois arrasta aquela terra ali de cima para cá.
Movemos a tame house para a frente, baixamos um pouco da terra para aqui para o muro, voltamos a pô-la no sítio e ela vai baixar e vai ficar aí outra.
Pronto. E aí, e as fundações também, né, que tem?
Sim, a fundação tem que ir sempre ao firme.
Sim.
Tem que ser sempre na pedra.
Sim.
A fundação do muro, porque não vai a fundação ceder e o muro... Sim.
Então aqui é bem firme, né, que você cavou bem pouquinho?
Aqui...
Sim. Quando chegou nesse ponto aí já tá bom.
Isto aqui é firme. Sim. Ó, tudo é pedra.
Boa. Pronto.
Isso aí.
Corta.
É o melhor, cara.
É o melhor. Sabe de tudo. A few months ago, we used the digger to level out an area for our container workshop and to create a flat spot to build the tiny house. But because our land is really sloped, and a lot of you mentioned that you were worried about the wall collapsing, which actually we already knew would be a problem, we wanted to make sure we were going to build a proper retaining wall. Luckily, Portugal is known for its stone, really good stone, and there's a lot of it. Around here, it's common to build with granite because it's the most abundant material. There are 3 main types: bluestone, yellowstone, and a mix of them both. Our friend Thiago, who's doing the work, is building our wall with a mix of blue and yellowstone because apparently that's the most affordable option. Of course, there are other types of stone, but granite is what we are going to go with. We hired Thiago to do the wall for us because it's not just any type of job. You need a digger and somebody else to help place the stones one by one correctly into position. Plus, the wall has to be perfectly aligned. Sometimes it's better to hire out the professionals than trying to do it yourself. I remember I was telling you guys when I was painting these windows, but I was doing it wrong. The effect that I wanted, it didn't look good because I was using a paintbrush. I switched to a roller, the sponge roller, and it was so much better. So I did 3 coats of this really nice dark grey blue kind of colour, and actually it worked out really well. Definitely wouldn't recommend painting your own windows though. There was really a lot of hassle. And yeah, probably next time I'll probably pay extra and just wait another couple of weeks to get it ordered in the colour. But it's done now, we saved some money, and yeah, Now all we have to do is bring them up to the tiny house and install the rest of the windows.
We got to a moment now that they're gonna have to cut the stone in two, because if you see, it's very square and it's not very good for the wall. To cut the stone, he used the saw to mark the cut line, then went over it to deepen the groove while his uncle poured water onto the blade. They often need one flat side to fit snugly into the wall, making it sturdier and more level. Then came the fun part, breaking the stone in two. It's actually pretty simple. He placed metal stakes along the groove and hammered them in to weaken the stone. He did this on both sides, and then he used a metal rod to pry the stone apart. And just like that, the stone splits. Now it's time to let the guys get on with the work on the wall. And we are moving back to the tiny house to install our windows. Let's go! It's time now for the windows. But hey, we already did some windows.
This was a test window.
Yes.
As you can see the difference from how we put in the expansive foam, it was ridiculous.
Yes. And that one is much better.
On this one we will learn all the things that we shouldn't do to then try on the next one. So the next one's a lot better. But anyway.
But like I said, we did this too yesterday.
Yeah.
That, come on, like doing windows is so hard that we couldn't even film. So now that we did, we learned, and we're gonna show you guys how to do windows on the next window. Window is so hard because it's a hole on your wall, and every type of hole water can get in. So you have to be extremely careful for water to not get in your house through your windows.
Yeah, we're being very specific with all the details and making sure we're putting in every type of barrier protection, waterproofing, so we don't have any problems. So let's show you what we've learned on YouTube, ChatGPT, to how we're going to be installing our windows.
And Bogdan. Bogdan! Let's go.
Like I mentioned before, installing windows is super important to get right. Otherwise, you'll have big problems with water leaking in the future. Step 1 is cutting the membrane to the exact size of the window frame. Since the living room is the biggest window in the tiny house, once it was cut out, the whole space felt transformed from the inside out. Cutting that window, the lounge window, because that's the biggest window, obviously excluding the door, just gives it's such a nice view. Like, look at that, just imagine having the sofa here, the kitchen here, and just kind of, oh, let's see how the weather's like today. And it's just the most beautiful green view looking over the house that's going to be down there. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it so much. It looks amazing. The second step is applying the flashing tape to protect the wood around the window edges. The ideal tape that everybody uses is flashing tape, but here in Portugal I found it really hard to find. So I had to use the closest thing that I could find in Leroy Merlin. The tape needs to be layered properly to keep the water out. The first piece should stick to the wood and slightly overlap the membrane. Then I cut and folded the tape so it would fit perfectly into the corners. After that, I added another layer of tape over the top. This just means more protection and less chance of any water getting in. One really important thing to do is to press firmly down on the tape so it sticks and adheres to the materials. Once that was done, we added the shims to support the windowsill.
Water is something that you have to be really careful. So we developed this piece. This is the windowsill that we're gonna use. It's a metal sheet. Same metal sheet I used underneath the tiny house. Was the first piece that we installed in the tiny house. So this goes all the way from here, the back of the window, until the front. And right here on the front, you have this angle going down that if any water goes on the window, rain or whatever, goes down with this angle. I think this will work. And of course, it has to be leveled. Ours is pretty much level, it can be better. But it's super important that it's perfect level, because for our sliding windows, for example, when you slide your window up, if your window is not leveled, the window will close itself or will open by itself. So it has to be perfect level, so when you open the window, it stays there.
Once everything was perfectly level, we screwed the sill into the frame and taped the corners to secure it in.
Yes guys, it's now really hot here in Portugal. No clouds in the sky.
Today, I think it's 30 to like 32 degrees.
Oof.
that's hot. And the thing is, it's like that type of heat at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is about Portugal is that like the heat of summer just comes at once and you
Yes.
don't expect it.
Yeah, not only the heat, but remember guys, we cut this, all of this, the overgrown grass 2 months ago. Now it's all
You have to do it again.
you need to do again. Look at that. So don't think that it's really good to have a
Don't
big land.
Don't underestimate having land, because everything grows faster than you expect, and especially in a sunny country.
Yes.
Because here it rains a lot in the in the spring, and then the sun hits and you don't expect it to hit so strong. Like this week, tomorrow it's gonna be 38 degrees. And now we could finally start installing the window. Since we're choosing sliding windows, it was easier to remove the actual windows themselves and just fit the frame first.
Perfect. This is perfect. When we built the walls, we measured each opening and left 1.5 centimeters of extra space to allow for the installation. And now, to hold the window in place, we used shims and wooden spacers, adjusting everything until it was perfectly level. And after that, we screwed the window into position and used expanding foam to fill all the gaps around the frame to keep air and water out. Finally, we installed an L-shaped drip cap above the window to direct water away, and sealed everything with tape to make it 100% waterproof. The last step was to apply silicone around the edge and put the glass back into place.
So, all the hard work has been done. Everything is ready for the windows. We've closed all the gaps with expanding foam. We've put silicone on the bottom. We've got our aluminium seal. We've done all of the shims. It's screwed into position. It's leveled. It's plumb. All we have to do now is just slot in the actual windows. So, let's get this done. Help me.
The first on top?
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, first on top. Yeah, we lift up. Yeah, that's it.
Guys, we have the biggest window installed. It looks honestly amazing. Looks so good.
It's a good work. Come on, let's be honest. Like we never installed windows in our lives, and it's protected from underneath with this drip edge on top, our seal. Well, it's a really good work. So last video we showed you guys some of the items that were on the abandoned house, and one of the items were these cups with this green tone that seems like uranium, and I researched about it, and people used to do uranium glass with uranium years ago, like over 60 years ago. Now it's forbidden, but super interesting. I did some research to see if this makes the drink taste a little bit different, and looks like not. It's just the visuals. And yeah, here you can see the bottle. For example, this bottle is not glass with uranium, it's just glass here, but here at the tip is just you can see the uranium with glass. That's super interesting. People use this just for collection now these days. Super interesting to have this now.
So, that has been a kind of productive day. It did take a little bit longer to get this window in because we started work a bit later on, and obviously we were watching the guys putting the wall in, so we're really happy with everything that's going on in the land. Like we said, we wanted to get this done ASAP, but with the demolition of the house, it kind of delayed this process, but we're still happy with our progress.
Yeah, I'm super happy. And we better do very carefully, very
Well
slow
done, yeah.
and well done. And that's what we're doing here. We expect to do a lot of windows today, but okay, that's fine. And we wanted to do all the windows this week actually, but we're not doing all the windows this week because we're going to Germany.
Yeah, so basically, just to give some context, my mum is German, so every 5 years my family has a big family gathering, and yeah, I have like so many cousins, so many aunties and uncles, so yeah, we do this, and it's tomorrow, so we're gonna go to Germany and spend some time there, and we thought we'd take you guys along and just kind of show you guys a little bit outside of the cameras behind, you know?
Okay.
What we do when we're not on the land, basically.
Yes, so let's go to Germany.
Let's go.
With us. Porto to Berlin is about a 3-hour flight, and we arrived super late. So we did what everyone does when they get hungry in Germany. Get a hot dog or breakfast. Like we mentioned, the family gathering was on the border between Poland and Czech Republic, so we rented an electric car and hit the road to the hotel. We arrived in the town of Hernat for the family gathering, and it wasn't just cake and coffee. Germans are very organized. They had planned several activities for the whole family.
So, today we are about to hop on a steam train. I've never been on a steam train before and I'm really excited, and the family's basically planned this whole excursion. So yeah, it's gonna be good.
Thank you. The little train ride was great. It felt like we were back in the early 1900s. Ada even got a cappuccino on board. The ride took about 40 minutes, so we explored the train a bit, and that's when we found an open roof carriage.
So we're currently on the outside carriage, and if I'm not mistaken, how it works, the steam train works, is that they power the steam train with coal, and then they heat the water, which then creates steam, which is then pressurized into pipes, and then that's what makes the train move. So really interesting. Obviously these steam trains are still around, but in today's day and age, trains are fueled by diesel because obviously it's less maintenance, less pollution, more economic, and yeah.
Meanwhile, back in Portugal, our friend Tiago was continuing the stone wall on our land.
Tio, o que é que tem a dizer sobre muros? Está a andar bem ou não?
Pode andar melhor.
Não pode andar melhor?
So this is our stop, let's go for a walk.
The steam train dropped us off in a small town called Kurot-Oybin, near the Czech border. We went to go visit the Oybin castle, which was built right on the top of the hill. So we're currently walking through these really thin rock channel, I don't know, like corridors, and it's really nice because I didn't know Germany had this kind of landscape. It's really cold in here as well. It's like a canyon. Yeah, it's not really cold in here, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
Klamm. We just found the German word for this, Klamm.
Clum. The first record of the Oybin castle dates back to the 13th century. It was originally built as a fortress to protect trade routes and borders.
So guys, inside the castle, this is the church, and this is the thickness of the walls because it's all stones, and it's all really well preserved. That's why this kind of constructions, they last a long time. And right there behind, it's a safe. But the thing is, this castle is hundreds of years, and they just found this safe in 2003. So imagine, it's not really easy to find a safe like that, because no one would suspect that they used to storage treasures and money over there. So if you go here, let's go. You have this tiny room, and yeah, no one would suspect that there would be a room here. There's no even windows. That should be a window, but it's covered. I don't know how they found it. And here would be the toilet. Obviously it wasn't like that. They should have like some wooden platform over here. They sit and they have this big hole that your shit goes all the way there. So here is the water hole. Basically you have this big hole for water. It goes all the way down there, and they collect water from the rain. So water goes from here, from the holes, and goes straight to the hole.
The castle's golden era came during the reign of Emperor Charles V in the 14th century. Around 1369, he converted part of the castle into a Celestine monastery. Unfortunately, the site fell into decline, especially after being struck by lightning in 1577, causing a massive fire. The remaining structures were left in ruins.
So here is the church, and look how well made it is. The double height ceilings, so it gives the look like you're in the heaven, and really well made construction. Imagine being here on a Sunday or something with everyone there, and you're here up here talking about Jesus and God, and yeah. So we just got here to the top of the castle. You can see the church from the top, and you can see some of the view. It's not a big village, or we're not in a city. It's a small town here, and every house has this German way of doing houses that they take wood beams of vertical, horizontal, and also diagonal, and they do that since the 7th century, and that's very typical from Germany. And all this region, actually, Poland, Czech Republic, all this region, they have these kind of houses. Even in Brazil, because I'm from Brazil, and a lot of Germans went to Brazil in the past. So in the south of Brazil, you'll see a lot of houses like that as well.
Let's give you a room tour. This is the room that we've been staying in. We're about to do checkout, so it's a bit messy. I just wanted to show you guys that it's like very typical here in Germany when you get a double room for a couple, that there's 2 separate beds, and they like doing that because everything's separate. They take their sleep very seriously. So it comes with 2 separate duvets, and then obviously it's 2 single beds put together. Another thing which is really funny is the pillows. This is very German, like these massive pillows, and they like to you double them. I don't know, it's just a very German thing. Obviously this is a very basic, simple room, kind of outdated, but still cute. And I don't know, I feel like the area that we're staying in is very countryside. It's very close to the Poland border, and it's just giving very Switzerland countryside green vibes. It's really nice. But now we're going to do checkout, and we're going to go head to Berlin. After 3 days in Herrnhut, we headed back to the capital, Berlin.
When people come to Berlin, they talk about the wall and the history of this city. And we have to talk about this airport, Tempelhofer Airport. That is a super important airport for the history and for this city. This is one of the oldest airports, if not the oldest airport in the world. It was built by Hitler in the 1920s. And this was super important when the Soviet Union blocked the land access in Berlin. That was when the US and the UK, they organized airplanes to land every 30 seconds here in this airport to bring supplies to the citizens. So yeah, now it's one of the biggest urban parks in the world. It's over 30 hectares, and the airport was closed in 2008. Now it's open for the public and is a park now. So you're now on the runway, and imagine every 30 seconds an airplane was landing here, bringing supplies. And this is a very good strategy that they used for maintenance and for building this fast for the war, which is these concrete panels that you can easily remove when something is bad and replace with another one. You don't make concrete here at the site. You make a concrete on another fabric. Bring the concrete with a lorry and just place it here super fast. So this was fast and efficient for the time, for maintenance, because every 30 seconds an airplane landing here, you need good maintenance and fast maintenance, and also for during the war times. And they build roads with this as well. So this type of engineering was really useful at the time and still useful, and is still very useful today.
We only had 1 day to explore Berlin, which definitely wasn't enough to explore the city's deep and rich history. We're gonna have to come back and show you guys in another video.
And here, guys, you have an area. The landing runway is just over there, but here you have this community area that everyone plants like potatoes, tomatoes, grows tomatoes, and you can just pick for yourself. No one owns anything here, but everyone works as a community to plant your own stuff. So you can just chill here, sit over there in the middle of the city. No garbage, no one. Wow, I'm really impressed. Compost stuff, like recycling. It's so cool. And I'm just impressed how clean this is. And you hear the birds, you don't even feel like you're in the big city here. Here, some people are planting some stuff. We want to plant some stuff in the land soon. Like once we finish the tiny house, we're going to do some other projects and we start the main house. We want to do some area like that, planting our own food. It's very useful.
So that brings us to the end of this video, starting with building stone walls on our land and ending in a small German town. We hope you guys enjoyed this video and we're excited to see you in the next one. Subscribe!
Subscribe, and there are no costs this week as well, because we didn't had much progress on the tiny house. So next week we come with videos and costs. Subscribe!